Hi. Um, so this video is sort of a hodgepodge of topics um, for two reasons. I have so many short things to mention, and also because my um, word finding and and ability to follow through on a sentence is has been worse, um, as I've just demonstrated a few seconds ago. And I think um, number one, my hair looks awful, but there's a reason for that. I'm going out of town for 10 days on the 7th, and I wanted to just leave it and so I could do it before I left so it would look nice. um, I'm gonna be going pink again because I think I look really good with pink hair. Not hot pink, it's like a paler pink. Um, and it makes me feel it. I don't know why, but it makes me feel good to have different colored hair. Um, so what have I been doing for? I guess it's been a week. I I'll um I have to refer to a list. I have been busy making bookmarks. I'm going out of town to Michigan. Some of you may know that my sister died in a car accident with a drunk driver, and that part of my family is enormous, and it's going to be 10 days of lots of people, outings, events, socializing, and it's going to be very, very stressful for me. Um, so I may be doing videos from my tablet to sort of have some contact with my world. I'm a little upset that I can't take my service dog because the family members I'm staying with don't believe in dogs indoors. And anyway, I'm going to miss him quite a bit and have him trained to do so much for me that it's going to be bizarre not having him there for me because he stays with me all the time. If he's not doing a task, he's waiting for his, to be there for me. Um, but I'm going to show you these bookmarks that I made. Um, I'm not there. To me, I look like I'm high. It's allergy season, so maybe that's it. I'm not. I don't. I only use my Xanax usually just at bedtime. I'm not high. um, I took my estrogen and thyroid medication. So, anyway. Um, so I made these. It's the first time I've ever worked with leather in this way, putting the studs or rivets or whatever they're called, and burning, like wood burning on them. And this is specifically for them. They are um, I always try to find the right word I want to say. When I say religious, it just doesn't seem what I. They are um, very. They're in. They're really involved in their faith, um, but not in such a way that they're pressuring anybody or. But I just know that it's important for them, and so I incorporated that. So there's a big variety of them, and her name was Shane, and that's my sad attempt at a flower. And then I have a Bible verse on there. I had some help from a friend and Google of what people who comforting for loss, but more positive type verses on it. So I hope I I don't have. It's a big family, and I don't have a lot of money, and I didn't want to leave anyone out. So I just like made a bunch of them, and I'm very anxious about the response. I don't want to be there when they get them, or I give them to them, because I don't want. This is a fear I've had. Anytime I've given anybody anything, is I I read people. I watch people and I read them. What they're saying as opposed to what they're doing in their face and body language. So even if someone would be like, "Oh, that's so sweet," and you can tell though that they're like, "Oh, this looks pretty crappy. It's all like asymmetrical," and um, so anyway, I know within my heart that I made them, and it took a lot of time. Made them for them to feel positive emotions. So just have to stick with that. That has been taking up a lot of my time. Otherwise, I would have been doing video earlier. I had. Okay, so that's bookmarks. Bookmarks, check that off. My memory has gotten extremely bad in the word finding and following through on instructions, and noticing when somebody needs help with something and I don't seem to get it. Or if I do, it's like well into or after the activity. Um, but um, that's another reason why I haven't been doing many videos, because of that. I honestly don't know what it is. Um, but it's starting to really drive me bananas. Good things to tell you. Um, Going for walks is very important for my health every day. Um, and not just my mental health, but my physical health. And I live in Missouri, so like half of the year it's too cold and the other half it's too hot. And you can't walk a dog in the heat, and I cannot tolerate the heat as well as I was able to when I was younger. And I actually, without any issues, I communicated with the our local rec center that has an indoor track for walking and running, and they okayed my service dog to walk with me on the track. And hold on, I just heard a big boom. My mom does stuff sometimes on her own. Um, and so I've introduced him there. Probably I go um, before um, people usually get off work, and there's only a few people there anyway. But he was so good the first time. He loves people, but he knows he does his job when he's on duty, and but he understands that they're around, and so he perks up, because he gets, oh, how cute, and I think he knows what that's about, and so he just enjoys being in the company of people. And even though he's not interacting with them, and in case you didn't know, service dogs, you're not supposed to engage them in or try to pet them or anything, because they're working, they're busy, they can't miss something going on with their handler that they need to take care of. So that's good news. Not that he would, but I have this fear of him pottying in there. But I mean, he never would. But so we go out. We've gotten to walking for 15 minutes and then go outside, and then walking for another 10 or 15, which gives me some stairs, but my legs sometimes are shaky because of my essential tremors. It's rare to have it in your legs, but I do when I need to use them for any, I don't know, anyway. I want to tie this in. The problem with me recognizing that I should be assisting somebody with something, and I don't, and it must, I think people sometimes can think I'm rude because I, I see someone needs help with something, but it doesn't register right away in my brain that I can do something to assist them. And a very good example, what I just left for was that I heard a loud noise, and I have to listen for noise because my mom's going to be 71 in a month. And she will, the other day, I went outside. No, wait, she came in. I got home and she came in and she wanted me to go to the store to get a water hose. She was cleaning the gutters with this gadget. And I mean, she'll move stuff, carry stuff. Um, and it's starting to click a little bit better, but like later in the day, I'll be like, it'll finally dawn on me. I should have helped. I should have offered to help. And and I was really happy about the gutter thing, cleaning out the gutters, because I did recognize it because I saw her climbing up a ladder and to get stuff. I'm like, what are you thinking? And and I think now I recognize a little bit more to help or ask. But I've asked on some occasions and she doesn't want me to help. Like mowing the lawn. Anyway, um, I think that she's fighting the age thing. Um, yeah, so hopefully the rec center will be somewhere in the heat and humidity this summer that we can walk in. Um, I'm really dry today. I had I had a really good spell of normal mood days. I'm going to show you on my graph here. I hope you can see it. See this long, look at that. Normal mood. Until yesterday, I was depressed. And today, I'm a little on the fence. It's sunny. I got to go outside and read in the sun. That always really brings things up. And it was nice to have relief. But I am worried about my mood changing while I'm on this trip to Michigan for 10 days. Because they don't know a whole lot. I downplay my disability with them quite a bit because I don't want to be judged. Or, well, I don't want, not judged, but a lot of people think that, I mean, there are varying degrees and stages of bipolar disorder, but a lot of people don't consider it a serious disorder, you being in a bad mood, or they don't understand that it's as serious as other chronic illnesses, it can be, um, they just don't get it. They can't. They can't get it because they've never been there. I can describe the stages of bipolar disorder till I'm blue in the face, and you just don't get it until you've had it. Or the next thing would be is if you live with somebody for an extended period of time. Um, Now, I do want to go on this trip in particular because I really enjoy airports and flying, although it makes me anxious. I used to always go by the flights they would book for me, and they would book me on Sprint, and it feels like their planes are about to jiggle apart. It's very scary. So I'm quite relieved to be flying Southwest this time. I do have to change planes. That's um, anxiety producing. It just depends on where I'm at. Uh, Mood wise, when I do it, if I'm normal or a little hypomanic, I'm more confident and pick up on things quicker and can take care of myself and go where I need to be. If I'm depressed, I'm more dependent on other people to help me get to where I need to be, make decisions. Anxious because I can't think. Uh, or I'm having trouble registering because of all the activity, the information I'm getting from those displays, and so that can be challenging. And if I been able to take my service dog, that would be better, but I might have to. Luckily, though, my mom will be taking me to the airport and I don't have to drive there. The training, somehow, the dog training that I've been doing, I somehow have managed that. Beforehand, I'm very anxious, but when I get there, I'm perfectly fine and I know what I'm doing and things are good. But every single time I go, every single time, I'm doubting myself, worried I'm going to look like a fool, and I don't understand that. It's really frustrating about being, even though you have proven time and time again that you're completely capable of doing something, um, well, and yet you have the same anxiety you did the first time you did it. But once I'm there and we're talking about dogs, I'm in my element and the anxiety eases. So it's been going good. I I didn't want many clients anyway. I mean, right now I've got Well, I have one client that's got 4 dogs, and they paid for individuals. So I have 6 dogs I'm training now, and I don't want any more. It's just for a little extra income. And that has been going well. Even when I've been pretty depressed, somehow I get there. And as soon as I start talking about the dog, um, the people don't make me feel as comfortable, but I can read the dog quite easily. It's a lot easier than reading people. Uh, but and something I do that is therapeutic for me that uh, I that I've never heard anyone else say is I make playlists, and sometimes I don't even sometimes I just use music that's already on my iTunes. I have a lot of music on my iTunes, and sometimes I'll buy some music, and like they'll have a certain um, theme. Uh, I My most recent really good one was I called it jukebox because when I was about 11, um, at that age, my cousin would we'd go to the pizza place, and my cousin would give me quarters to play songs in the jukebox. Um, and it's the music I remember coming from the jukebox, and it was um, late 70s, early 80s, Journey and Bob Seger and stuff like that. So I made it, and it's very, um, it takes my focus out of my brain and onto something, and enjoy organizing because I'll make a really long list of songs and then narrow it down to the ultimate playlist. Um, I started a 90s grunge, and I am going to do a 80 and 80s new wave. I have a very eclectic taste in music. Um, there was one ultimate thing I wanted to say. Talk about, yes, this. I finally took the plunge. Um, now, CBD oil, or look, I have to read it from here. I have a hard time pronouncing it. Cannabidiol. Cannabidiol. CBD oil from the marijuana plant. But you don't get high from it. So, it is not FDA regulated. I am not a health professional. I'm not recommending anything. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I talked to my doctor and decided to give it a try. It's used for, I believe, topically for pain and sublingual for anxiety and insomnia. And my primary interest was the insomnia because even though I take a handful of pills at bedtime, I sometimes am still not falling asleep. My mind is still very busy, and I don't want to just keep taking more Xanax because I take that every night. That's just part of my med routine. And so I decided to try this. And I was told that some people say it didn't do anything, and some people say it was great. It worked really well. Um, so I was pleasantly surprised. Now it's only been a few days, but I have had really good results with a like minimal amount. The pharmacist at the pharmacy that I got it from talked to me. We talked about it. It's expensive, and depending on where you get it from, you really like, because it's not controlled by FDA. There's You don't know what you're getting, so you maybe just have to try stuff out to see. But um, this I just used for 3 nights, a very small amount that they said people usually start out as. I ended up less, and I go right to sleep, but it's not a druggy feeling. It's not I don't wake up with the hangover feeling. It's a solid sleep. And, I mean, I'm still able to, like, get up and go brush my teeth and do all that. The, like, I don't get doped feeling, and I don't get, like my head swimming or anything where it feels dangerous going up and down the stairs or anything. It's just like a general at ease. um, it's not like, oh, all of my worries are gone away. It kind of just, I guess, takes the edge off, so you can, because I took it during the day once with some anxiety, and I was able to work through a problem without the weight of worrying and anxiety on me, and not overreact and get upset over a minor thing. Like, it was easier to say, well, I'm just gonna put this away till tomorrow when I have more time, and felt like it was no big deal, as opposed to being frantic and trying, and when you're frantic and you try to do something complicated, it only makes it harder, and it just doesn't come out. So I don't know how to describe it, but I have liked it so far. The effects, I don't like the taste. I think it's supposed to be orangey, but it's kind of a bad taste. But now I find that I can use less. It's not as bad. But like I said, this bottle was like $70, but it's a whole month's supply. And it's not marijuana. It's not illegal. I'm hoping it maybe can help me on my trip. I am going to continue using it and give you an update, like after I've been using it for a month or so. But like I said, I noticed the effects almost immediately. I would say 15 minutes. I did at full effect, and I I didn't feel like I was on dope or high or anything, but I just felt more comfortable. But now I really am just wanting to use it mostly for bedtime. My doctor said about the CBD oil, my doctor said that she has tried to do research on it, and the same thing happened to me. All you can get are what the companies that make it, what they say. There's no outside studies really that are um, legitimate, like for medical professionals. And so she said, I don't know if in some cases it's a placebo effect. And if that's what it is, I don't really care. Whatever gets you gets you there, that's fine. Um, and I feel the same way. If it's just a placebo effect, I don't care either. Uh, I just don't like to feel high or heavy. I did read an article about bipolar and memory, that over time it is something that's noticed, but it was an old article and I'm still doing research on that. And because I don't know if I should, I found out also that my medication can cause that, but I haven't changed it in so long. I just don't want it to be something else, and it's getting to be really bad. It's getting to be where I don't want to do things where I need to talk to people, and and it looks like, like I have a moment where I'm just stare off into space. Sometimes I'm blank, sometimes I'm looking for a word, and I know people see it, and I'm very self-conscious of it. And then finally I'll resort to describing the thing, and I can feel the word in my head. I just can't get it to the part where it goes from my brain and out my mouth. And so sometimes, if I don't feel like standing there for half an hour uh, looking for it, I'll just, especially when I'm with my mom, because I'm not as embarrassed. I'm like, that thing that you wear, it's like ties around your waist and goes over your head, so when you're cooking, it doesn't get stuff on you. She was an apron. Yeah. Uh, and it, they say it's time to worry when you see an object and you don't remember what it's used for. That's not been the case. So, uh, just bipolar wise, I've just noticed that the depressions are. I'm 50 years old, and within the past year, 6 months maybe, yeah, 6 months, the depressions are um, more prevalent than the mania, for sure. And they're worse, they go deeper than in the past in a long time. And and I have more other like dissociation. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I think I talked about that in my last video. Real, which, by the way, the room seems to have been fixed and is real and does not seem like I'm on a movie set anymore. I think that's all I have to say. I'll update you on the CBD oil and my trip and um, and my mood, because I hope it goes back up for my trip. And I will talk to you later.